Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello, guys. Welcome to Global Happenings today. We have a trending news here for you. And the headline of the news read CJN Tanko Mohammad causes uproar in Nigeria with the singular decision. And following this news, afterward will be a video where you will describe a lot of things which in the course of our discussion you get to understand better. But before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to the channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. All right, let's look at the news in detail. Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammad, who is the Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, yesterday advocated for the amendment of Nigeria's constitution to accommodate some of the concerns of Muslims and the Sharia law. Mohammed made this known while declaring open the 20th annual Judges Conference at the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria Faculty of Law Moot Court. Speaking on the theme of the 2 days conference, Documentation of Contract in Islamic Law, Procedure, Sample, Precedents and Practice, organized by the Center for Islamic Legal Studies, CILS, of the Ahmadu Bello University in collaboration with National Judicial Institute, NJI Abuja. The CJN urges the academicians to champion the cause of redesigning the method of teaching Sharia law. Represented by Justice Mohammed Danjuma, Grand Hadi of Niger State, the CJN said the implementation of his suggestion would be more feasible if university gives Sharia law its own faculty. He said, and I quote, "As we all know, there are sections of the Constitution that allow the implementation of Sharia personal laws, and apart from that, we cannot do more. However, we have the number to amend the Constitution to suit our own position as Muslim." I'll repeat that again. He said, as we know, there are sections of the Constitution that allow the implementation of Sharia personal law, and apart from that, we cannot do more. However, we have the number to amend the Constitution to suit our own position as Muslims. Mohammed said increase of judges to be learned in Sharia would allow them to attend to issues that have to do with Islamic law. In the same vein, the CJN said in view of the importance of the Sharia legal system to the legal profession, Sharia law ought to be taught in Arabic language in Nigerian university. He further went forward to add, and I quote, "The Sharia law should be taught in Arabic, not English. There is no university in Nigeria that runs Sharia in Arabic. They all teach Sharia in English. So academics, let's also look into this issue." Professor Ibrahim Gaba, who is the Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University, said academics conference are a venue of creating knowledge for the benefit of humanity, hence the university decision to support the Judges Conference. All right, that's the news, and that has caused a lot of uproar in Nigeria, as many people have run to the social media to make say one or two things about the statement made by the recommendation of the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Some people are of the opinion that he was not the person who made the statement, but a representative of his, actually a representative of his who attended the conference on his behalf was the one who made the statement. But the truth is, before one goes for such a conference, you will be well informed about what to say that truly represents the interest and the opinion of the person sending you to represent him. So whatever that was said there was actually what he would have said if he was in attendance. All right, so let's just look at one or two reactions by Nigerians about this. This person said, these people won't stop until they destroy this country. Your suggestion will further divide the nation. Instead of seeing ourselves as a people, the CJN is whipping up religious sentiment. Nigeria is a secular country, multi-religious, multi-ethnic society. If you continue like this, soon every religion and ethnic group will demand for what suits them too. Stop this hate and division and keep the nation one. Wow, that's a great one there. And another person here says, another person, a lot of reactions, but I don't want to read some of them because they are really so not too nice for the ears. We don't support a lot of stuff written here. This one said, this is the more reason that the Muslims should advocate for dividing the country along North and South. The North will have the freedom to establish Islamic Republic of Northern Nigeria and implement full Islamization the way they want. If they try to force Christians into these Islamic issues, God will destroy them for good. All right, this one said, I think Nigeria will now know those that are the godfather for Boko Haram insurgents in this country. Every Fulani hates me. I am sorry for the other region in this country. The northern region have underground agenda towards the nation. So let us continue sleeping. Wow, a lot of reactions from Nigerians. And I will just want to say one or two things about this because it's quite a very sensitive one, and it's not really an issue that you can close your eyes to, because if these laws are being integrated into the constitution, it will affect every Nigerian. You know that it has a lot to do with the provision in the Quran. It has a lot to do with it. And there are a lot of us who don't believe in other religion. We have our own religion. And as rightly said, Nigeria is a multi-religious society. Different persons worship different gods, and we have that liberty because it is also enshrined in the constitution, freedom of gathering. We have the right to worship any other god. So trying to force other people to accept the things that you believe in your religion is absolutely not of a secular society like Nigeria. Absolutely not. Except you're going to, before you think of doing such a thing, then it therefore means by that time Nigeria must have been divided, where the North will be strictly for Islam, for Muslim, and the South will be for Christians. And so whatever thing you're going to be doing in your own country will affect the people in your own country. But to try to see how you can bring it into the constitution, because whatever that is enshrined into the constitution will affect the generality of Nigeria, irrespective of your own religion. And that will not augur well for Nigeria. The most striking thing is that this guy, that's the CJN that we're talking about here, during the time that issues came up, I'm talking about the current issue that is really trending in Nigeria. I'm talking about Shawar's issue. When it came up, this guy didn't say anything. The National Bar Association or Nigerian Bar Association came up, but to say specifically that the CJN made some strong statement about how the rule of law was undermined. None of them said anything. They kept quiet. And as we said before now, that quietness or silence in some circumstances can be considered acceptance. And that is strictly what we believe it is. Because for you to hear that your own profession has been downtrodden and you don't say anything about it, you only say, well, that had always been my opinion concerning all these things that you are doing here. That's exactly what you're saying. And this issue has really not augured well for Nigeria, because it's a clear indication that we are not in one accord. We are divided into different parts. A lot of people are thinking this way. This one is saying, how can you sit down and recommend that something as personal as the intent of your own religion should be enshrined into the constitution? How about if the Christians now also wake up and also demand that everything that is provided for in the Bible should be enshrined into? Can you stand it? How do we learn? That's why they're telling you whatever that is operational, let it be in your individual states. And let it be, even if you say such things should come into play, let it be strictly for Muslims. Whatever Sharia law you're going to bring into integrate, let it be strictly for Muslim. And any transaction that has to do with a Christian and Muslim, such cannot be binding. It cannot be binding because I have my belief system. You also have your belief system. If we continue like this, there is no hope of this country continuing as one. Now, look at a lot of things that happen, because most of the time when we sit back to begin to analyze issues like this, we begin to join one thing to the other. Imagine what is currently going on. Fairly recently, the president went to Egypt, an Islamic country, and then also make a declaration that he has given all African countries the right to pour into Nigeria as much people that they desire. In other words, anybody can land in Nigeria without any visa. You can imagine the risk we are putting ourselves into. A lot of things are happening. So trying to bring in this one right now won't all go well for the country. My colleague has something to say here.
Well, just as you have said before, I tend to say this, and I will still say it again. I would have expected that the presidency would have consulted with the Senate over issues as sensitive as this. Now, let's start from where my colleague stopped. He made mention of the fact that he made the decision when he went down to Egypt over countries coming into Nigeria. I would have expected him to say, consult the Senate over it. Do we allow, since our borders in the southwest is closed over rice and other importation of goods from neighboring countries, which is probably against even ECOWAS rules and regulations concerning free trade. Now, we went to faraway Egypt, which is actually a Muslim state. I'm not against it. And you now gave such an announcement. We even got to hear it from, not even from the president, I would have, now even the Senate is hearing that too. I would have expected him to bring the matter up to Senate. That's as the law of bills of so many things Nigerians have signed, the executive have signed, that we are not even in the know. We begin to enter some treaties we don't even have an idea of. So let's know how many treaties we are even in. If not for the announcement that a foreigner on Twitter page mentioned, Nigerians didn't even know such things have taken place. That's for one. Secondly, we're trying to look at things here. Look at the issue of juicy positions. Almost all sensitive position in Nigeria is actually occupied by Nigerian Muslim. MPA, Nigerian Muslim. NNPC, Nigerian Muslim. All the security agencies except for Navy, Nigerian Muslim. Northern Muslim. I begin to wonder, is there some things attached to this, or is it just a coincidence? Now, for CJN, even the CJN of Nigeria, it's also a Nigerian Muslim, a Northern Muslim. For a CJN to say, look, it's high time we begin to play on our religion. Let's begin to estrange Sharia. And he said something so striking that I can't forget. He said, after all, that we have the majority in Senate.
Exactly.
That's strong. Does it mean that what he's trying to tell us is that all this while they've been playing the chess game, so they'll push themselves in powerful position, then they will now strike? Is that what he's saying? Because he said, after all, that we have a majority in Senate, so why can't we pass this into law? That means you are taking away the freedom of religion that has been the one thing that has, combined and made us a nation. That freedom of religion. We are multifaceted. Nigeria is not just a Muslim nation. Every religion you can practice, it's allowed in Nigeria, in as much as it does not affect the next person. But you're saying that they should change the constitution and pass Sharia into law, that all schools not to be taught just in English but in Arabic. Are you saying that Nigeria by default now a Muslim nation?
Is Arabic a lingua franca?
Is Arabic a lingua franca of Nigeria? In Nigeria, do we speak Arabic as lingua franca? Look, let's call a spade a spade. Look, when we do things, let's not begin to divide ourselves in religious lines. If you are saying that, then you are saying Nigeria is a Muslim nation, then the referendum is in line.
Yes.
Let every man, because I don't think any Nigerian, any Christian Nigerian will want to, or traditional Nigerian, or even Hindu Nigerian, or even Jews in Nigeria will want to say, I want to become a Muslim because CJN said he should change it. Then if you want everybody to become a Muslim, then referendum. Let everybody find its way, because it looks like as if it's a chess game. In a moment, you're going to see a video of how already the Muslims have started showing that they own the nation. They have started doing things that is amazing. Just in a moment, you're going to see the video.
All right, thank you very much. In a moment, you're going to see a video, and you use that to conclude where our nation is actually heading. That will help to inform your judgment better, so that we know where are we heading from here. It actually happened in one of the cities in the south. All right, in the GP, we're going to show you that. All right, let's go. Welcome back. You have seen the video. I think that we need to correct certain things. It's important that some of the state governors need to pass this message across to the chairman or religious leaders of those people, just to register some truth in them. There is nothing wrong in you practicing your religion in a particular state, because Nigeria does not belong to a particular religion. It doesn't belong to the Christians. It doesn't belong to the Muslims. It doesn't belong to the traditional guys. It doesn't belong to the Jews. It doesn't belong to any religious sect. It doesn't belong to any, particular religion. It belongs to every Nigerian, and you have the right to practice your religion. But your religion must not interfere with the activities of the people. That is another thing. And here is the CJN also trying to talk about enshrining the Sharia law into the Constitution of Nigeria. These are some of the things that we need to correct speedily, except we are calling for a referendum for the division of Nigeria, which that is not what we are supporting. This is very, very important. We've got to look into this. But that's where we're going to leave it. Go to our comment section. Let us interact. What do you think about the whole issue of amending the Constitution to enshrine